Hello, movie lovers. Welcome to another episode of the Does It Hold Up News. I'm Adam.
And I'm Emily.
And as always, let's start with the box office. So this past weekend, Barbie was finally upset and pushed out of that number one position with Blue Beetle, who's new to the list, with $25,030,225. Not a great opening for that movie.
Glad that it finally upset Barbie, that we finally found something that did, but yeah, that's not a great total.
No, very lackluster. That's the second flop of an opening weekend. Third, technically. Second of the summer, but third overall for DC this year. In second place is Barbie with another $21 million. Only a 38% drop again. Domestically, it is now brought in $566.8 million. It is hunting down the Super Mario Brothers movie, which only had $574 million. And in fact, by the time we're doing this news, it might have already become the highest grossing movie of the year. If not now, definitely by next weekend.
Yeah.
In third place, as always right behind Barbie, is Oppenheimer with a 43% drop, but still taking in $10.7 million. Its now running gross is $285.3 million.
Still really good.
In fourth place is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with a 44% drop, but still bringing in $8.5 million. It is now grossed $88.2 million. They probably want to get to that $100 million, and I'm just not quite sure it's going to get there. In fifth place is the other new release over this past weekend, Strays, with $8.2 million. That's a decent opening, I think, for a movie like this one.
Yeah, for the third R-rated comedy in the summer, it's surprising.
In sixth place is Meg 2, The Trench, with $6.8 million, a 47% drop. $66.6 million so far. That is a huge decline from the first movie. In seventh place is Talk to Me with another $3.2 million, a 37% drop, but it's made roughly $37.4 million so far for a movie that probably cost around $4 million to make.
Yeah.
It's 10 times what its budget was. That's a decent haul for any movie regardless of size. In eighth place is Haunted Mansion with another $3 million, a 48% drop. It's now just under $59 million. In ninth is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 with $2.7 million, a 41% drop, but it's up to $164.6 million. They probably were looking for more like $300 to $400 million. So this is a big disappointment, but it's nice to see that it's still hanging around. And in 10th place is Sound of Freedom with another $2.6 million, a 47% drop, but it has made $177.7 million so far. There are all sorts of lessons Hollywood can take away from how well this movie did. I'm just hoping they take the right ones. I don't expect Sound of Freedom to be in the top 10 next week.
No, I think it'll finally meet its maker.
I hope so. I haven't seen the movie, but it's been so much controversy around this movie, and they're dealing with some lawsuits now and just all this stuff going on. I want to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a part of things anymore, so it just needs to kind of go away a little bit.
Feels like a Flash situation there.
Yeah, I'm kind of done. The two movies that are dropping out of the top 10 this week are The Last Voyage of the Demeter, after just 1 week in the top 10, and also the movie Jailer, also with only 1 week in the top 10.
I still don't know what that movie's about.
It's about a jailer and jail.
Okay.
All right, let's get into some news here. A few things happened over the last week that I kind of wanted to touch upon. First off, Lionsgate, the movie studio, has re-implemented a mask mandate, a COVID mask mandate for its offices in LA. Not all of it, though. So they own, I believe, 5 floors. That's how tall their office is in LA. The 3rd and the 5th floor need to wear masks again because they have had a COVID outbreak. They've seen a lot of positive cases lately. LA in general has seen a little bit of an uptick, and so they're just taking precautions. They've also re-implemented every employee needs to do a self-screener before they come to work.
Wow.
They cannot work after traveling internationally within 10 days, and if they feel sick, they are supposed to be staying home, and tests are made available for anybody who wants one.
I actually really applaud that. I applaud their ability to see the danger in a disease that's not actually gone and taking precautions to kind of limit their exposure.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they just took those precautions and ran with them because they don't want to get shut down. They don't want to have to deal with stuff. I know the biggest issue with a lot of people right now is what work could they possibly be doing in the offices? We have 2 strikes happening right now. Nothing is really in production. So what is it that they are working on that they can't do from home that you're even allowing these people to be near each other? And I kind of agree with some of that criticism, but we'll keep up on it and see what they do. Our next story is that Disney is being sued again. This one is by TSG, who is one of their financial partners, who helps, fund some of their movies being made. But morely, they helped with the Fox productions.
Oh, okay.
Like the Banshees of Inisherin, The Shape of Water. These are movies that were made from Fox before Disney bought them over. But that didn't stop TSG from including Disney in this lawsuit, since they are the ones that technically own that company now. What they're claiming is the new way that Disney's releasing movies, a shortened theatrical window. They're not allowing their movies to be streamed anywhere else, like Netflix, HBO Max, or anything like that. It's all going straight to Disney Plus, has hampered their partners' ability to make gains.
Okay.
This is very similar to what Scarlett Johansson sued them about back in 2021 after Black Widow came out. Mm-hmm. Because they did day and date streaming, nobody went to the theater to see it, and so her bonus on the back end wasn't as big. TSG is basically claiming that same thing. Because of your business practices, you are limiting the amount of money that these movies can make, which limits the amount of money that we get in return off of our financial investment. Because Fox had an exclusive deal with HBO. That's where their movies were going to end up after getting out of the theaters. Mm-hmm. But now they go to Disney Plus.
Okay.
Disney came in and said, hey, rework these contracts. You can't have these movies anymore, but Disney won't pay themselves as much as HBO would have paid for these. So the partners are getting less money.
Yeah, they're probably going to win or settle.
It'll be a settlement. Yeah. Just like they did with Scarlett Johansson. It'll most likely be a settlement where it's going to be, if we give you like $20 million, will you just shut up and go away? But that's a good question moving forward. Is this going to happen to other theaters? Because HBO themselves dealt with this with Roadshow Pictures a couple of years ago when they were doing the day and date releases. They were sued.
Yeah.
Don't screw over your partners, guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that people actually considered when they came up with their plan for their streaming services. They did not consider how it would affect their theatrical market, as we've now seen, and all the partners that go into it are being affected now.
Yeah. And I don't know what it's going to look like going forward. Are they going to lose financial partners who are just like, listen, you put all the money up then because it's going on your streaming service. You're pulling it out of theaters early. Mm-hmm. You take all the risk.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Again, we'll follow along because this lawsuit's not going to go away quietly.
No.
At all. Next up, we do have some strike updates. So last week we talked about how the WGA was going to have a decision on the proposals they were handed by the AMTPT or AMPTP. Sorry, got that a little backwards. Lots of acronyms here. But they were supposed to have a decision based on the proposal they were given. That decision didn't come. So, they're still working on it.
Yeah.
But they are continuing talks, which is important. Because this is the first time they're really talking to the other side since their strike started all the way back in May. Do we get a conclusion this week?
You know what? They told us they'd get us a conclusion last week, so I'm not really trusting what anyone is saying anymore.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. I hope so, for the workers' sake, that they get what they want and they can go back to work. But at least they're still in talks.
That is true.
They're working it out. They're trying to figure out how they can all go back to work, which is completely different than SAG-AFTRA, who is still just refusing to talk. They will not sit down and have a meeting. But one interesting thing that's coming up with the strikes is there's 2 new bills that are being proposed in New York for their local, for their state government. The bills are being proposed that both SAG and the WGA and a lot of other unions are supporting. Here's why. These bills will, quote, prohibit applicants to the Empire State Film Production Credit from using artificial intelligence that would displace any natural person in their productions. So if you guys don't know what a tax credit is for films, when you film in a certain state, Illinois here has a 15% tax credit. New York has a 25% tax credit.
Ooh.
So basically, when you film somewhere, every single person that you hire who has a residence in that state, every business that you use that works out of that state, you can claim every amount of money you spent on those things as a tax credit. And you'll get 25% back from the state of New York based on those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. A lot of studios and productions will film somewhere based on that credit because they know that's guaranteed money they can get back.
Yeah.
And that's huge. 25% is amazing. Spending $10 million on a New York production and getting 25% of that back, $2.5 million back, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But New York has been hurting themselves, and a lot of other places are too, because they're not complying with this stuff. They don't care about these strikes. But if these bills pass, you will not be able to work and film in New York if you plan on using AI.
Okay.
That's insane. This is now a government-led thing.
Yeah. Well, from the way you said it, at least, it seems more like they can use AI as long as it's not going to displace someone in their job.
Yes.
So it'd have to be for something that can't be done by a person.
No, not just that. It could be, if it's displacing a person, I believe that is more closely related to displacing actors, people that are visibly on screen. Whereas we know with Disney's Secret Invasion, they did the entire opening sequence using AI. I don't believe that would prohibit them from filming in New York. But if you plan on using AI, I know a lot of big problems are, you watched it, The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The Walking Dead, in large shots of there's a ton of walkers, zombies.
Yeah.
They would scan like 20 background extras that are made up into zombies, and then they would digitally replicate them to get hordes instead of hiring more background actors.
I actually had that when I was an extra back on Divergent. They actually did scan a few of us to do that.
Yeah, so they would not be able to do that in New York because that's displacing people and their jobs. So this is going to be interesting to follow. I don't know, but if they're going to pass, but it's very weird that two different bills that are basically identical, talking about the same thing, have been proposed by different people.
That is really weird that it's becoming a government issue now.
And if you can't get that 25%, either New York is going to lose a lot of business.
A lot.
Or they're going to have to fold. They're going to not be able to use AI to film there. Yeah. And that's even talking about, you can't just go there to get second unit shots, slate images and stuff to do CGI, because that's still part of the production that could be using AI. Therefore, you would not be allowed to even do that. And we know a ton of stuff is set in New York.
So much.
So, good luck with that. Yeah. Give the actors and the writers what they want.
Yeah.
Don't use AI. Oh, I had one more piece that I didn't put into the notes for today, but it did come up, and I kind of wanted to talk about it.
Okay.
Good Burger. Do you know the skit Good Burger?
Yeah.
From All That, Nickelodeon show?
Yeah.
With Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell.
Welcome to the Good Burger.
Home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Yeah.
So they made a movie back in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Good Burger 2 officially released its trailer. It is coming to Paramount Plus soon. And they released a trailer for it, and I could not be more excited. This is my childhood come to life.
Oh my god, there's a 2.
There's going to be a 2, and it's going to be direct to streaming Paramount Plus. It's already done. That's why there's a trailer. They're not breaking picket lines or anything to make it. And Kel Mitchell is back. He stepped away from the limelight for many years after the first movie and his success on All That and everything, and the Kenan and Kel show, which is a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
But he stepped away. He kind of walked away from Hollywood. Did some behind-the-scenes stuff, but stopped acting. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited.
I'm going to have to check out that trailer.
Trailer looks pretty good. It's got a lot of the same humor, but with a little bit more of a grown-up twist to it. A little bit more regal, sophisticated stuff, but it's not going to skimp on the really ridiculous stuff that's going to happen. And I'm just super excited for it. I never knew we were going to get a 2. When they announced it a couple years ago, I thought maybe it'll probably get canceled. It's never actually going to get made.
Yeah.
And here it is.
That's awesome.
In all its glory.
That's awesome.
And as always, we're going to finish up with new releases that are coming to theaters and streaming this weekend.
First, we have Bottoms. Two girls start a fight club at school. It becomes insanely popular. Now they have to shut it down before it gets out of hand. It stars Rachel Sennott from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies and Ayo Edebari from Mutant Mayhem. It's getting good reviews. It's currently 97 on Rotten Tomatoes with an 8.4 out of 10 from the critics.
Yeah, this seems like a really dumb comedy that harkens back to the National Lampoon's Van Wilder and stuff. That's at least what I thought. Critics are saying it's actually really good and really clever. And the weird twist is they created this fight club because they wanted to lose their virginities to cheerleaders. So they thought getting them invested in this would get them close to them. It sounds like a really dumb movie, but I'm going to watch it because it looks really good at the same time.
This is the kind of movie I would expect to go to streaming, not to theater. So I'm really interested to see why they put it for theatrical.
And Rachel Sennott was from Bodies, 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 and I thought she was excellent in that movie. So I'm super excited for that. She's going to be a star. It's going to be great. Next up is Vacation Friends 2. Do you remember during everything locked down in 2021, Hulu put out a movie called Vacation Friends, starring John Cena and Little Ray Howery. And it was a ridiculous success.
I loved it.
It was so funny. They're making a 2, and by making it, I mean, it's already done, and it releases on Hulu this weekend.
How did that just sneak by us?
It just did. I don't know. But what's more interesting is they're bringing everybody back. So John Cena's back, Little Ray Howery, Meredith Hanger, and Yvonne Orji are all back. Those were the stars of the first one. But they've added 2 interesting names. Ronnie Chang, who you don't know the name, but you'll recognize his face, and the always lovable and amazing Steve Buscemi.
Ooh.
What he's doing in this movie, I don't know, and I don't care. I'm going to love it anyway.
Yeah.
Critics are saying it's definitely just a retread of the first one. They hit a lot of the same beats. It's the same kind of humor. But
I enjoyed the first one, so
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
it's fair.
So I'm super excited for that. This is one of those ones that, again, just snuck up on us. And yet I'm super excited for it. Because the only other big thing coming to theaters this weekend is something we've already seen. And it's Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Finally, after 2 weeks of previews, sneak previews, the movie's finally going to go wide and everybody's going to be able to see it. This is the story of Jan Mardenborough, who became a real racer after many years of playing Gran Turismo and being one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. None of the critics aren't liking it. The audiences who have seen it really aren't liking it all that much. It's got some hit or miss parts. We actually have a review for it on the channel right now that you can check out after finishing this, which we're pretty much at the end anyway. Yep. So it's just going to be interesting. I don't know how much they hurt their opening weekend box office by having these sneak previews over the last 2 weeks. So I can't wait to check in on the box office next week to see how well it did.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it somewhere in the top 5, but I'm thinking it's going to debut somewhere around 4 in 4th place.
I'm going to put a number out there and say 6.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications if you like what we do here. We'll be back next week with some more news. And in the meantime, if you're looking for something to watch, just, click the video that's right here, right now. That's our review of Gran Turismo. Until next time, remember that you're a legend, so be good to yourself, but more importantly, be kind to others, and keep watching movies.
Bye.